Everybody like, comment, and subscribe. And pay attention to how he's smiling and laughing, talking about going to African Bambaata's house. This is crazy. Like, comment, and subscribe.
So the first area that I really want to get into is the child abuse situation itself. So just follow my logic as we're discussing this. So let's start when you were a young boy, and a typical day in your, not in your household, but a typical day, how you would end up at Bambaata's house. Like, was it school, like would it be like summertime, or would you go to school and then you end up over there? So let's talk about a typical day in your household, and how through at some point in that day you would end up at his house, because the way it sounds to me is that was kind of like a regular hangout, not just for you but for quite a few kids.
Growing up in Bronx River, pretty much how it would go, the music, the parties, the neighborhood tough guys, the Zulu Nation, everybody pretty much claimed to Bam because of who he was, because of the Zulu Nation, and everybody that you looked up to was a part of the Zulu Nation. So that was the magnet for Bam. You had the Zulu Nation, the meetings where we would gather once a week and have the universals or whatever the case may be, and pretty much, Bam was a celebrity. Everybody looked up to him. Did positive things, said positive things. He had a lot of.
But I'm talking specifically like you're 12 years old. So like when I think of me being 12 years old, I wake up, might turn on some cartoons or might do whatever, and then go outside to play with me and my friends did Barbie dolls and things like that. So I'm really trying to get to a typical day in a child's life where he would be victimized by a predator. Not really Bambaata. Well, it is Bambaata, but you know what I'm saying? Like how okay. When you were that age, your life at that age, and kids, even though something may be going wrong with them, kids are still happy. Like sometimes you don't know what's going on. So I'm really trying to get to how, as a 12-year-old, you would end up at that apartment, like how that would happen through a day or the weekend, or what I'm trying to say. You get it?
You know what? It's weird because I don't really remember the first time I went to Bam's house. But what I do remember is my mother would be sending me to the store, and I was supposed to come right back from the store, and I would always end up at his house. I would take my time.
I wonder why.
Now, as for his house, if you left your building to go to the store, his house is, you're passing his house, or do you have to go out of your way to his house? Like how? And then
I would actually have to pass. Going to the store, I would walk maybe, let's say, 250 feet to his building, and the store's past his building, so I had to walk past his building to get to the store. And Bam House was the fun house. It started off being the fun. It's the hip hop house.
Look at him smiling.
Parties, everybody that you looked up to is always there. It was fun. It wasn't always like it started off a bad thing. Bam was a hero. Pardon me.
That's okay.
Bam was a heroic figure in our community, so to be around him, to do the parties and just hanging out at his house, it was fun. Everybody was there.
So when you were there, it would be, I heard a lot of the discourse and going back and forth. So everybody, especially the black space, we didn't deal with age back then, so it would be like all ages. And is it mostly young men there? Like, were any girls hanging out there at all?
I mean, when you go to Bam House, you might see anybody around. I've ran into Queen Latifah in Bronx River, Ice-T, Ice Cube, all types of celebrities being with Bam. So you might see anybody in Bam's house. Everybody loved Bam.
Especially
okay,
you.
So let's talk about when the abuse would happen. And I remember the video you did of that kid who had like mentally not developed or whatever. I'm trying to see if it's like this.
Yes, it probably is.
Okay, I was like, I see something.
Sweat.
You're in the hot seat.
You know what I'm trying to get to
All right,
is how it would happen, and if it was that many people around, are they around when it's happening? That's what I'm trying to understand. Without trying to put words in your mouth, I'm trying to see what was going on.
Okay, I gotta get over the nervousness of the camera.
Okay,
That's what it is too. All right.
Please, you love the camera.
I give you one of the first situations with Bam being in his house. It was me and a few of my other close friends, and we was in the weight room, in the middle room, the room next to the bathroom on the 7th floor. There was a weight room in there, and we was lifting weights in the room, and Bam would come into the room and basically say, "Hey, let me take a picture of you guys." And then, we take a picture, we flexing our muscles, showing our muscles and stuff. So then he gets real creepy with the, "Hey, why don't you take off your shirt?" Then we all feeling kind of funny, and he's convincing us to take off our shirt to show our muscles. And, shortly after that, we would leave. Then from there, he starts to putting the porno on, letting the porno play and telling you that, you're supposed to jerk off. That's how he breaks you in. You're supposed to jerk off. This is what you're supposed to do as a man. Then he pops the picture book open. And now when he pops the picture book open, it's like, whoa. You seeing, I'm not going to call no more names out because I pretty much
Wow, you love
heard
saying
a lot of
names.
people doing that, and I promise I wouldn't do it no more. It's inconsiderate because when you look at the picture book, the people in the picture book was actually underage. Now, most of them, that I looked up to may have been 10 years older than me. So you actually see the stair steps. Some of them 5, some of them 10, some of them, you get what I'm going as far as like the stair steps. So when you look through the book, you're like, whoa, he got this one in the book, he's a killer. He got this one in the book, he's a killer. He got this one. You're seeing people that you really look up to, and these are warriors. Like,
and now
wow.
you want to be in the book.
Describe what you're seeing in the book. You don't have to name any names, but so what's so wow about it for the audience who may not have heard what you covered with Star on his show? What's in the book?
What's in the book is pretty much him taking photos of these guys with their pants down. Everybody has their pants down or they're butt naked in the book.
What is the background? Where are these people? Can you tell from or remember from these pictures where these pictures were taken? Like what's behind them? Or are they all in his apartment?
In his apartment, in hotel rooms. You can tell from either the apartment or the hotel room.
So if you and your friends would have, by the time you were even born, like they're already in the mix. So by the time you're 12 years old, it's already a huge culture going on around him. You see what I'm saying? Like you're not as old as Lord Sharif, where he could say, "Oh, I was there when this started and when that started." When you become 12 years old, it's already a lot of stuff going on. So when you're at the apartment with your friends, and he would start trying to break you all in and grooming you and making you more comfortable, starting with the pictures, then what would happen? And when you say Bam's house, are you talking about his house at that point, or is this the apartment where he lived with Ahmed?
This is the apartment where he lived with Ahmed.
And so where would he be when these pictures are being taken?
A lot of the times Ahmed would be right, like, this is Ahmed's room, this is Bam's room, just that close. You really, like, you just, this, I mean, he's right here, not even 3 feet away. So Ahmed would be in the next room, even though, me and Ahmed had a talk, and he tried to tell me that, most of the time I wasn't there. There's times he wasn't there, and there's times he was there. I don't care what he said, he knew what was going on. He was never, the one thing I will say on his behalf, he was never in the room when any of this was going on, but he was there.
Another problem that I really, like, I have many problems with this whole thing. Another problem that I have would be how I'm not sure if you said it, but definitely Savage and then another person were talking about another, like he would bring another man in the room and then another man came. So it's like, how many people How many people, you don't have to name names, do you think was taking part in this? Other adults, other people. And when I say adult, I mean 17 and over, where they could be charged as an adult. Like, adults were participating in this, not just Bambaataa. How many do you think it was?
I can't really give you an actual number, but it was more than enough. You see what I'm saying? I would say in New York, Bam had at least about a good 30 brothers that knew exactly what he was doing, that took place in what he was doing.
You
No
want
exaggerating.
snack boxes,
Maybe
but ain't
more than
brought
that.
theirs. Get out of here.
But that also took part in it too.
That was taking part. See, I won't say about 30 of them took part with me. I won't say that.
Right.
But from what I've seen and being in that house, it was quite enough of them. More than enough. More than enough of them knew what was going on with him.
Without going, I mean, well, you can go there if you wanted to, because I'm trying to see what did you go through, if you even remember being so young. What kind of changes did you go through after this experience with him being, around the first
He's a good actor.
1-2 times? Do you remember if you had any changes that your mom may have been able to pick up on, or anybody else?
Me going through what I went through with Bam, see, what people don't understand is I was already broken in before I got to Bam. I was being molested before Bam even got to me. So it was like, I couldn't really go talk to my mother about it. I didn't know how to talk to her about it. So I just kept it to myself. And the signs probably was there. The bed wetting, because I pretty much was wetting the bed. All types of stuff was going on with me. But
They said they used to call him Pissy.
going to my mother and actually saying that to her,
Pissy
the first thing
Poppy,
you're thinking about is,
allegedly.
all right, I'm going to tell my mother that Bam is molesting me and he has an army around him. There's nothing. My family claims to be tough and they're fighters, but they're no Zulu Nation. Nowhere near it. So for me to even go to my mother and say, hey, this is what's going on, it's not, that's not something I was going to do. It's not going to happen.
Okay, let's talk about the Zulu Nation and as an army and that kind of thing. Now, I'm from Chicago. I'm from the projects. So I'm not getting it. Like, I don't get it. So you have a person who everybody is, I love how everybody's like, oh, I heard these rumors for decades. I love how everybody is saying it. So you have this person who is rumored to be not only just a closeted homosexual, but he is actually making outward passes at other young men or whatever. I'm not sure, so far I haven't heard anybody admit to. I've heard rumors of him being a child molester for decades. They've only said they've heard rumors of him being gay. So he would surround himself with these hardcore brothers. So where did that leave the rest of the people in the projects who are not in the Zulu Nation? So they're just like, I can't understand why nobody put a stop to this. Like, even people in the Zulu, like, he couldn't.
Man, this is crazy. Is this why he does not support this documentary anymore? Because before, he was promoting it, telling everybody to look out for it, donate so she could get it off the ground. Now, he said he don't support this in no way, shape, or form. Why? It's because you got what you wanted out of it, and that was to build your platform. Man, this dude needs to be canceled ASAP. He also needs to go get himself some therapy because he needs help. He's a habitual liar. He's a hypocrite. It's just enough. Oh, wow. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank y'all for tuning in.